Hello and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. I'm your host, Hamza Idris. Yes, welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV, and you can follow the conversation on our various social platforms on Facebook, and you can follow live on YouTube. We have the manager here, Census Manager of the National Population Commission, Inua Lungo. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you explained the economic aspects of population, why we need it in order to plan well and to get basics to the population. But there is this allegation that beyond what you mentioned earlier, that there was no legal framework, and that was why the population was, they kept pushing it. That the political aspect is actually the real issue, that political leaders, they don't want to say maybe North is higher in population than South, or South is more in population than North. How true is this?
No, the population, as far as we are concerned, and as far as what we are planning to do, we are not interested in who is greater. All we are interested is to make sure that every Nigerian is counted once and in the right place. And the dynamics, you have many people that are from Southeast and are living in Lagos.
You will count them in Lagos?
We'll count them in Lagos. You have so many people living from the Southeast are in Kano.
You count them in Kano?
We count them in Kano.
And they become part of Kano population?
It becomes, we want people to be counted where they are, where they normally live their daily lives. Because if those areas are going to plan, they are going to plan for the people. So it is not about where you come from, but most importantly about where you are. Basically, where do you usually reside? Is that clear? So where you usually reside. Should there be any need for us to know whether you have migrated from a place or not? There are questions in the census questionnaire, but we want everybody to be where he is usually resident, so that we can count him, so that wherever he's staying can be able to plan with him and plan for the family and everybody. So it is only in Nigeria sometimes we look at this population issues.
Yes, because up till now people are hammering on this, that it's actually for political expediency that you want to do the census.
That is why the President Muhammadu Buhari, in his own wisdom,
yes,
the dates we went to the National Council of State for the census was to conduct them this year. But the presidency, to insulate the census from politics, decided that census will be conducted after all the political activities have been done. If you look at, we did the trial census before the primaries,
yes,
of the various parties,
yes,
political parties. And now we are not going to do the census until all the political activities have been completed, including the presidential election.
Yeah.
All this the government did in its own wisdom to insulate this census so that we can get it right, so that we cannot politicize it, and so that we can get it right. Nigeria, as a committee of nations, needs to know its numbers and the type of the population structure, and so that we can have data, information for our national planning and development.
Yes, I had it in one conversation that I will not call name of the president or military or whatever, that at the verge of conducting the census, he said, no, there is second term, so we cannot do it. Let's win the election before we do it. Are these some of the factors that you people have been encountering while planning for this census all these years? That, okay, a leader will say, no, let's wait after the election, no, and then after winning, we still have election, let's do it and leave the liability to another government.
If you look at the dynamics,
yes,
of the country, if you look at the dynamics of the country, you find out that from 2016,
yes,
even the economic is not good, and this president came in and he's doing something for Nigerians that you can hardly see anybody doing it.
What is that?
He is committing his time and the national resources under his guidance to see that Nigerian gets a census data for planning. even though he's aware he's going, but he still feels that this data for national planning is important for the country to move forward.
But some people feel that he should have done it during his first term.
And that is why I am trying to explain to you that he is doing it out of his own conviction, because of his usual person of making sure that whatever he feels doing that is right, he will do it. And he feels that getting a very reliable and accurate data for Nigeria is something that is worth doing. And we all call it, this is going to be one of his major legacy that is going to leave for Nigeria. Because census undertaking is by no means a small exercise. It needs a courageous leader and a leader that is committed to national development and planning.
Then this question that what are the parameters? Because people are saying in that form, you need to put your religion, very highly sensitive issues. Is it true?
Yeah, we have Nigerian, what we are trying to do is, there's no question on religion as far as the census question is concerned. And we have educated a lot of people. But you know, sometimes people just jump in the media, either social media, you know, and you know that there are a lot of videos. Sometimes we find out that a respected person coming out to say things that are not true. We have led the census questionnaire at the national level under the watch of the president. We have led the questionnaires at the state level in the 36 states and the federal capital, for all the state governors and everybody to look at the content of the census questionnaire. And there is no religion, there is no ethnicity in the census questionnaire.
You will not take that.
There is not. As far as 2023 census is concerned, these are not questions that are going to be canvassed, and that has been finalized.
Yes, and then when did the government launch the National Population Policy, right? Which has provision to see fertility rate reduced to below 3% while encouraging family planning. These are some sensitive areas, especially, you know, in this part of the country. When you talk about family planning, a certain cleric will say, okay, you have even leave your religion or things like that. How are you trying to approach this and to tell people that you are not actually taking their numbers in order to use other methods to deplete the number in the future?
As you are aware, every religion preach the fact that you should take care of the children that you are going to give birth. As a father, as a head of household, it is prerogative on you to take care, and I have said it in my earlier discussions, provide shelter, provide nutrition, provide education. Is that clear?
Yes.
And shelter, education, nutrition,
the basics,
and psychosocial.
Yes.
Is that clear? So you need to provide all these things. So if you are able to do it with the family size you have, good and enough. If you are not able to do it, no religion will preach that you should throw your children on the street.
Yes.
No religion. So everything is for us to look inwardly ourselves and say, are we doing as a father, as a mother, as everything, are we doing what we are supposed to do to the children we have brought? So basically, if you can answer those questions, I think nobody needs to tell you what to do.
Yes.
Is that clear? So it is for you to decide on what is right. And the population policy is trying to tell you, okay, these are the basic things that you need to do. And if you cannot do it naturally, you know that you too have to take it slowly.
Yes.
Is that clear? Nobody needs to tell you that. You have to take it slowly. So that is what we are telling every person, and that is what every religion have even preached.
Have you contacted religious and traditional rulers to tell people, because there is this myth that even if you allow your family to be counted, one or two of them will die after counting and all that?
Yeah, I know. These are very, very old myths. I cannot rule them happening in some societies.
Yes.
But we are developing a strategic plan to ensure that Nigerians are rich with messages. As I'm talking to you, we are in collaboration with United Nations Population Fund. We are conducting a survey to get out the perception of people about census and about the type of questions that we ask in the census. And all this is to get knowledge.
Because somebody, by mere asking him how many children you have, he will
By the
well,
time
we rise and move on.
Sometimes we hear this, but I've been privileged. I have worked across the country. I've worked in the 36 states and FCT.
Okay.
I have traveled to all the areas. All these mates have changed over time.
Okay.
We are not ruling out Nigeria is a very big and complex country.
Mm.
I'm not ruling out that there may be pockets of these issues here and there. But
Resistance.
we are coming with a strategic plan to address all these issues, to educate the Nigerian population on the need to be counted once and in the right place.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this issue of conducting the census in between, transition period. Election has been conducted, then about handing over, right?
Yeah.
You want to do it within that time. How feasible is it? Have you conducted research, maybe with security agencies, with politicians, with communities, and they convince you that actually that time is safe to conduct the census?
Yeah, by the grace of God, we have not been working alone. And if you see our chairman, Honorable Nasir Isakwara, has done a lot of legwork. He has virtually held meetings with virtually all the security arms in this country. And a lot of consultations have been going on. We have consulted virtually all the former presidents of this country that are living. And at the state level, the commissioners are doing various types of consultations with traditional rulers, other stakeholders, to ensure that, and from all these consultations we have had, even among prominent leaders in this country, we have visited them, we have seek for their collaboration and support towards the census. And we have received remarkably positive response from all of them, I can tell you.
Okay.
And these are all documented evidences. There are videos, all these things are published in our in many of the documents, and also the media have also covered all of them. So it's part of the advocacy. Census is a gigantic an assignment.
Yes, gigantic. And there is this claim that many agencies, government agencies, are working at cross purposes.
As I'm talking to you today, we are working closely with NOAA.
Okay, National Orientation Agency.
They are the main government agency that is responsible for national orientation and mobilization of the populace.
Okay.
We have, at the national level, we have conducted some roadshows, and we are doing it at the same state level.
That is sensitization. What about sharing information and data, like NBS, like National Identity Management? Are you in any way in touch with them?
I'm a board member of NIMSI. Today I have attended a board meeting of NIMSI. That is to show you the level of collaboration.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. And remember, you can follow the conversation on our various social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. Before we went a break, we're discussing with Dr. Garba Abari, who is the Director General of National Orientation Agency. And the topic of discussion, increasing voter participation through sensitization, which is the responsibility of the agency you had. When we were young, this MAMSA, we saw vans of MAMSA going to Market Square, town halls, sensitizing people. But things have changed now. And the claim is that MAMSA or NOAA is in all the 774 local government areas. How strong are you? And what are you really doing now ahead of the election?
Well, the era of MAMSA, yes, a massive social mobilization agency.
Yeah.
At the time it was set up, the military had seen the need for it.
Okay.
Even for the purposes of trying to gain for it some degree of legitimacy.
Yes.
And we have seen them in every nook and cranny of the country, adequately funded, logistically supported from top to bottom.
Okay.
Today, the situation has changed. The ecology has changed. the environment has changed. What I mean by the environment, I mean both the social and the political environment, have dramatically changed. The communication strategy and the communication methods have equally changed. In the days of Mamsa, we had only the NTA.
Yeah.
And maybe Radio Kaduna with a massive, very vast outreach all over the country.
Now over 500.
Today, how many radio outlets do we have?
Yeah,
We are talking about hundreds. How many TV stations are we talking about? We are talking of at least slightly less than 100, or maybe more.
Yeah, when you put the two together, over 500.
Over
yeah.
500.
Yes.
And we have also another intervention, which they call the social media.
Yes.
Which has, in your own case, Hamza, a trained journalist, being eaten into, your profession being eaten into by everybody waking
Seriously.
up every morning and becoming a journalist.
And I think also affecting your job. Yeah.
Asking, we have not deviated fundamentally from what Mamsa used to do. We still hold town hall meetings.
Okay.
We still hold meetings with critical stakeholders, religious leaders, traditional rulers. We hold meetings in the schools. Now, asking what are we doing in preparation to the election and to elect it? This is one of the things that the NOA had produced. This is what we call voter education for sustainable development. It is available in all our state directorates, and it is a handbook that all our COMOs, what we call COMOs, are community mobilization officers. And this handbook of voter education for sustainable development is what has been translated.
Okay, you cascaded it to
because that's why it matters.
languages.
Because that's why it matters. I don't have to come and ask you, Hamza, to know if you know the importance of going on an election day to vote. Now, but it's not also, the handbook is not also only about voter education. If we do this, we follow up with so many things. First is the handbill. Let's live in peace.
Okay.
And now what the NOA is
because
doing
candidates and their supporters are just,
so
as we say,
on this,
talking about violence.
we have brought out clearly what we call the causes of violence during the campaigns. And this we have produced in thousands, in hundreds of thousands, which we are also sharing, translating this in different languages. At least in Hausa, I know, in Yoruba we have done, in Igbo we have done, in Pidgin we have done. Now, depending on how much resources we are able to get from partners, we intend to, if it is possible, to translate this into every language that a local government speaks.
Wow. Ahead of the election.
Ahead of the election.
Yeah.
Now, beyond that is actually how to teach also the voters how to go about voting. How do you make your vote count? This is how to vote, how not to vote, how not to vote, how not to vote.
You just use generic.
And so, and this is actually what the NOA also has produced.
As part of your social responsibility.
Well, actually, part of our sensitization on creating voter awareness against voided votes. You don't forget that there are many instances where elections had to be decided by the courts because of the difference between voided votes and votes that are not voided. And in order to reduce the number of voided votes, so that we reduce the number of litigation, voters must understand what to do. This is also in continuation. Do not allow any spill of ink into another page. Your thumbprint should not be outside the space. Just one thumbprint in right place of your ballot paper. You should not vote for 4 parties or 2 candidates. Now, here, an interesting story. There are candidates or there are voters that take, for example, inducement from two candidates.
Yes.
So what they usually do, in some instances, such voters are being put on off. So what they usually do is, instead of voting for one, having taken inducement from two people, they will just invalidate the vote by voting.
Oh my God.
For two
After
candidates.
compromising themselves using it.
So these are actually things that we have found.
But Doctor, beyond this is the issue of funding, because if you look at your responsibility, very huge, and if you don't succeed, I don't think if INEC will also succeed. How buoyant are you in the agency, and what are your expectations?
Perhaps I am the most underfunded agency of government in the whole of this country. I have a total, from the headquarters to the states to the local government, I have a total of 813 offices. And I have a staff strength of nearly 5,000.
5,000?
Nearly. You know? And we don't have funds.
Then how are you going to do it?
We don't have funds. We don't have funds. We don't have operational vehicles. We don't have good working conditions.
Is it that you don't make case, you don't ask? Because, yeah.
We don't have good working conditions in many of the states and in the local governments. So what we do is we go and look from what we are able to get from the orthodox budget line, we complement by looking for partnerships. For example, some of the things we have been doing for us have not paid you. Some of the things that the NTA has been doing for us have not been able to pay. Some of the things that the FRCN has been able to do, I've not been able to say. But I cannot go to other private television stations and ask them to do that, because they will say, you are a government agency, you are supposed to be funded, so for some of the things that you will do, you will have to pay. Or if I take jingles, for example, they'll say, okay, we will air one pro bono, and then you will have to pay for 2 or 3.
Yes.
So, and I don't have the funds. So what we do is we actually try to go into partnership.
Okay.
You know, with some.
And this is your initiative.
Maybe we get donors. You know, maybe we look at some civil society organizations that have funds that are working in the area of electoral credibility, electoral issues generally. And we enter into some partnerships.
You see,
but in terms of funding,
yeah,
the funding requirement is massive, simply because the cost of everything has gone up.
High. Yeah.
And the requirement is massive.
So this is where my fear lies, because you're supposed to counter something like fake news, Doctor. Fake news, even the Minister of Information says, is one of the major things that may compromise the 2023 general election. And for you to counter fake information, you really need serious resources. What is your take on this?
Well, we are doing.
Okay.
We have done, and we are still doing a lot in the area of trying to counter fake news and the misinformation.
Yeah.
This is NOAA's say no to fake news and the hate speeches. Now, in our 2021 to 2026 5-year strategy plan,
yes,
under Pillar 2, peace building.
Okay.
Peace building. The National Orientation Agency intends to train 37,000 fact checkers across the country.
37,000?
37,000 fact checkers across the country. And this is because we have realized that the era of the social media has come to stay. The social media is a reality. It provides opportunities. It provides. It also provides, aside opportunities, it also can be a source of destabilization.
Yeah.
So far, we have trained, we have done 8 training sessions of more than, in 2022 alone, more than 1,200 fact checkers cutting across different sectors.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Remember, you can follow the conversation on our various social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. Yes, we have in the studio Rep. Musa Sarki Adar. He is the House Committee Chairman on Upstream, Petroleum Upstream, and he represents Gada, Goronyo Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you have given all the confidence about the oil prospect. And the president said we're expecting more along Dahomey, Sokoto, and other, and Benue, Anambra, and all that. As the chairman of the committee, how soon are they coming? And this is coming at a time when other countries are talking about greener energy. You still think that this is viable in Nigeria, this perspective?
Let me finish. I have started, you caught me. I say it's an integrated project whereby you have the oil production of the crude, then you have a refinery there, then there will be a gas plant, there will also be a fertilizer plant there.
Yes.
Because it's inland, there's no water transported, and we don't need to export it anywhere. What we are going to get there, we are going to utilize it for our local consumption, and we are going to industrialize the nation by having a fertilizer plant there, by having a gas plant there. We are going to have so many industries that will use the byproducts of petroleum and petrochemical byproducts. So that's the most important aspect of this project. And that has come to stay.
Including the refinery.
Including the refinery. It's going to be there 120,000 barrels per day. It will be refined there. And I think that will be pretty much close to more than 50% of Nigeria's consumption per day on daily basis. There will be no oil subsidy anymore. Again, a question of oil subsidy. There will be no more issue of queuing in the artificial queues in the filling stations, because now you can transport from Bauchi, you can pump it to Gombe, you can pump it to Gusau, you can pump it to Kano, to all the other
depots. That's when we fix our pipelines,
and even down to the south. So we will have.
What about finance? Because it's really.
I told you the company does the company that is handling the project are coming with their funds.
Okay. So it's not a problem.
So it's not a problem. It's not that we have to dip into the pocket of the federal government to come and do this. What the federal government have done is to facilitate, and they did, by providing the basic infrastructure and the basic support from the initial stage, by discovering the data availability, and by making an environment of the law, and by also obscuring the area. Now the area is secured. Unlike before, when there was some fears
Boko
of
Haram,
Boko Haram.
Yes.
And from there you can hear they are moving downwards to the Lake Chad Basin. And don't forget, initially when this oil prospecting started in the north, it was all in the Lake Chad. It's now come to realize that the Kolmani area was not even mentioned then, until recently, maybe about some 10 years ago. So the moving of the entire exploration to other parts of the basins, Anambra Basin, Dahomey Basin, Sokoto Basin, Bida Basin, and Benue is going to be done simultaneously. And we as parliamentarians, or we as makers of this country, because we represent the people, and we want anything that will unify this country, and we want to diversify the economy, and we want to make sure everybody contribute, and we want to make sure that everything is available in this country, not only in the oil, even in the mining sector. What we need to emphasize in this country now are three things: oil production, mining, agriculture. Once we have this, the youth of this country will have no reasons. Being poor, they will have no reason.
But some of these companies that are investing, especially in the Niger Delta, you've seen them going out saying that it is time for green energy. That's why I said, do we still have serious prospects?
When they started going into the orbit, were you there? Where have we gone?
We are still here.
Have we gone into the 50-story building? Can you climb up to a 50-story building without following a lift? They are already where they are. The oil will continue to be relevant for us in Africa generally in the next 200 years. Nobody should deceive us. We should not deceive ourselves because they are saying green energy. Let's not go there, green energy. Whatever energy we have, call it blue, yellow, white, we need it. What we need is what we can do to transform our lives. And for now, what we need is to stop importing from them and rely heavily on what we can produce. And this is what we are channeling our strength, our effort, our determination to. So the propaganda of the West, that is climate, this and that, they should go ahead with it there. we are hungry. We want to have a means of averting hunger in the whole Africa.
Yeah.
Africa is hungry. We cannot feed ourselves. Until now, we import rice. People are complaining rice is being cost at 30,000 naira because of this and that. Because we don't produce enough.
Yeah.
If we don't produce enough, so now when we have fertilizer companies doing fertilizer in Nigeria, the cost of fertilizer will come down. The cost of farming will come down. Many people will go back to the farm. Farming is a lucrative business, but very expensive now. When it is made available to everybody to participate, there will be availability of food. We can even export our food to other countries, not only in Africa, to Asia and even to Europe. So we should not continue to have that fear. This is a very good opening for us, and we should hold it with good intent. It depends on how we look at anything.
President may be committed to this. That is it. But look at Barrow. I'm trying to make, a comparison. He launched it more than 4 or 5 years ago. Up to now, nothing is happening there. How sure are we it's another thing in this? Because it's a landlocked area. So how sure?
I am giving you all the assurance I'm giving you because I'm involved. It's a sector that I'm involved. I'm part and parcel of. I'm among the stakeholders.
Yes.
I know everything that happens there. Officially, I can write to ask a question. Officially, I can call and ask a question, and I shall be given the right answer. Exactly. So I can also share it with anybody without any fear of contradiction. Okay. So what happened to Barrow? Somebody should raise it there and should be investigated.
Exactly.
All I hope is Nigerians should ask.
Yes. What happened to Barrow after commissioning and nothing is happening?
It's a project of the Ministry of Transportation under a particular minister. Where is he? What has he done? Were funds given to him? If the funds are given to him, where are the funds? If the funds are not given to him, let him come clear and tell the Nigerians that no, we initiated a project, but it was not financed. So he can clear his name. Exactly. Whoever he is, I don't know him. So you understand? And Nigerians should ask this question, and this question should be recurrent.
And history will remember you. Do you foresee subsidy going with these recent developments?
Even before this recent development, subsidy must go. Because whatever you cannot produce, and you are, I want you to understand, subsidy is for the benefit of the elite, you and I and many others like us, not for the poor man. The poor man do not own a car. The poor man do not own...
But he transports his goods using
sir, let me finish, sir. Or the means of his transport commonly is the trucks that are using gasoline. Gasoline subsidy has been removed long ago, even before President Muhammadu Buhari came in. Since during Johnson period...
So you believe even if it is removed today, the poor will not suffer?
It will not change anything. It is the elite who has 5 tankers in their houses, who works on everything. When they want to buy popcorn, when they want cheap things, when they buy this, they have to use a car. The poor man who works on his on an Akada or who travels, it doesn't affect him. He doesn't have a car. What he needs is no more than 1 liter in a day. But the elites are using 20 liters, 50 liters, 100 liters, hundreds of liters in a week.
But I hosted somebody here who said, the immediate way to actually reduce inflation, to also bring down food inflation, is to reintroduce subsidy for gas, because this is what transporters used to take goods from Lagos to Maiduguri, to take cow from Maiduguri to Port Harcourt. Now you pay over 1 million to transport something from Lagos to Abuja. You pay 1.5 million to take it to Bauchi or Maiduguri. Whoever that person is, with the benefit of hindsight, I don't want to know who he is. I disagree with that. We know what subsidy has cost this country. Many people that are involved in the management of subsidy became, what do you call them? What do you call them? You journalists, tell me. Tell me. No, you should tell me. I don't want somebody to arrest me after I leave this place. If I'm at campaign, I would the racketeers? Whatever you call, now you said it. The racketeers. So if you bring it back, that person might be an agent, or you could be part of them that you want the racketeering to come back. No to racketeering. We shall sustain what we have. What we know, what can take away inflation is local production of everything that we need. And by now that we are going to have the Kolmani project, to have a fertilizer company there, to have a gas plant there, to have a refinery there. And by the time maybe Dangote finishes his own refinery as well, the inflation on the cost of gasoline and kerosene may likely drop down. But don't forget one thing, this is an international commodity. It is not something that is priced only in Nigeria. If you buy your product from any other country, you cannot control the price. But if you produce it locally, the government can now come in and regulate. Are our regulators doing what they are supposed to do? We have Consumer Protection Council.
not only on the petroleum products, on everything. Do they do their job actually? When you go to airport, you paid your ticket, an airline cancelled or delayed flight for 8 hours, and they will just announce that they are sorry, they cancelled for 8 to 10 hours till midnight. They don't provide hotel accommodation to you, regardless of where you come from. You might be coming from Kano on transit to Yola through Abuja, and midnight you are told the flight is delayed or it's cancelled, and nobody even give you anything except that announcement. Do they do anything on that?
Nothing.
The answer is no. But when you came to the airport and missed your flight by 5 minutes, they charge you what they call no-show of 5,000 up to 10,000. And nobody is talking. And we have all the regulatory agencies there, not only on the aviation, in everything. When you go to a hospital, a doctor is not on seat, and you waited for about 3 hours, and later a nurse told you the doctor may not be able to come today. Nobody charges him. Because your health and your health may be critical at that very time.
What you are saying is that people must be held to account.
And like now, as you are coming to your work here, I am sure if you report 10 minutes after, you will be queried. And maybe that would be the last time that would be allowed that. So why not apply that generally on everything?
Exactly.
So
people must be held to account.
It's a factor of malfunctioning of our systems.
And people must be held to account.
Yes.
4 years ago, they came here and deceived you and told you lies. Now, this time, PDP has come to return Kwara to the mainstream of Nigerian politics. Therefore, I appeal to you to elect all PDP candidates from the president up to the state houses of assembly. We promise you that if you elect PDP at the state and at the national level, we will make sure that these roads are connected to both sides of the country.
But we thank why I started off, I said, Alhamdulillah, I thank God that Almighty God protected his life for him to come back now and take Nigeria in the right direction. It is time for us to kick out a non-performing APC government and party and bring in a man that will unite Nigeria, a man that will bring food to the table, a man that will be fair for everyone, a man that will show that has experience at the national.
That was former Senate President Bukola Saraki, who spoke after the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, at their grand rally in Kwara State today. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Remember, you can follow the conversation on our various social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. I recall that the G5 governors led by Governor of Rivers State, West Wike, have now moved into an integrity group in court, and are also accusing chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Ayu, of corruption. Here are excerpts from that.
Tell people, don't insult me, don't insult my people. You go to a town hall meeting, you tell them lies. All I say, if you believe in restoration of Nigeria, if you believe in devolution of powers, if you believe that Buhari did make mistake of appointing Savage from one area, then what you should do, correct it now from the party. Not be so? Not be so? What the G5 is saying, equity, fairness, justice, the constitution of the party, section 73C of our party says, listen, we must share elective offices and political offices. And then you now say, you will take everything. I will not agree. Will I agree? Will you agree? If you want to kill me, kill me. And let me tell my brothers, I'm from the governor of Very West State. I'm sorry. I have to say this, and I cannot to say it. I will say it. If anybody feels hot, let him go to court and challenge me. Nobody will lead me to a campaign. A man who is corrupt. I have challenged you. You are corrupt and you are corrupt and you cannot lead me to any campaign. I will not. River State will not. Whether they like it or not. You cannot lead us to a campaign. You is corrupt. I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry to say to the Benue governor, if I've insulted you, forgive me. Rivers people are hot, and we are hot. Are you not hot? Are you not hot? Are you not angry? Are you not angry? Are you? You cannot lead Rivers to any campaign. I want to Benue State. I want to Benue State. Are you? You have not said 1 year in the office. And you are fighting corruption. How do you fight corruption?
Yes, two contrasting episodes there, even though the last one was not actually today, but 3 or 4 days ago. But we are now joined by a chieftain of the PDP, Mohammed Yusuf Jamu, to share his perspective on the issues in the party. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Hamza.
Yes.
It's nice to be here with you people again.
Yes, thank you. Why were you not in Kwara today for it?
Well, I just came back from a lot of party activities.
Okay.
I was in Port Harcourt, where I met with other party faithfuls who believe that justice, equity should reign in the party.
I was thinking you actually moved to the other side, because I know you are with the G5, so you are still with them.
Well, actually, I'm still a member of the People's Democratic Party. And being a member of the People's Democratic Party, I'm a member that believes in justice, equity, and fairness in the party.
When they metamorphosed to Integrity Group, did you also join that group again?
Once you are a member of a group, whatever name the group believes in, you become a member of that group. And then let me make this notion so that everybody will understand.
Okay.
We strongly do not have any issue or problem with the candidature of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
Sure.
We do not have any problem with the candidature of his running mate, Mr. Okowa. What the Integrity Group members are only saying is simple. For fairness and justice, Yoche Ayu does not have the requisite qualities, number one, to lead a party to victory at this particular time, because there are so many issues that are shrouded around him that needs to be cleared, and the only way those issues can be cleared is if he willingly on his own respects the party and step down and give an opportunity for someone else to come in and take the party.
But there are allegations and insinuations in many quarters that you are only using IU as an alibi to actually get at Atiku, considering that most members of the Integrity, why is it that you people did not interrogate IU when he was trying to become the party's chairman? Only now.
Yeah, that is a big mistake, which I believe should become a lesson for political parties in the future. Not necessarily the PDP, but every political party. I believe if there is one office that should be recognized and be given an opportunity for a complete contest to take place, is the office of the leadership of political parties.
Because the party must be strong.
Because the party must be strong. So going forward, for just some few persons, be them leaders of the party or whomsoever, to sit down and just decide you should be this, you should be that, I believe if we change that kind of style in party politics, it will mean well. Let them be given opportunity to print posters, move from one state to the other, and campaign and talk about their manifest and what they intend to do for the party, and then run against others, and then win, and some others lose. That time they can be able to understand the value of party men and every party member, and things can be able to be done right after those.
But you said you people are still favorably disposed to Atiku. But now the elections, you know, elections are inching closer.
Yeah.
But you people are adamant.
Mr. Hamza, 24 hours in politics is worth a lifetime in the life of any political party. So I believe it is still not late for the leadership of the party to find a way to step aside at this juncture, or for the presidential candidate and his running mate to advise Mr. Iyorchia Ayu to just willingly step aside. Look, it is not only about G5, it is not only about Wike, it is not only about all these other governors.
Yeah.
I come from Kano, and even from Kano, we have issues that has been happening. We have an existing structure of a political party in Kano under the leadership of Mr. Sagagi. When the primary elections were coming up, what they did, under Ayu supervised this thing and made sure it happened. He will send a letter to Mr. Sagagi saying so people are coming to conduct primary elections. And when these people go to Kano, they will be directed by Mr. Ayu. Don't go to Sagagi, go to another group to conduct the primaries, which sadly now, yesterday the Court of Appeal has started reversing those kind of things that Mr. Ayu did in Kano by giving victory back to Leila Buhari.
Yes, anyway, without prejudice to the discussion we are having, I know that today the appeal court also in Kano nullified Namburang Abubakar Ko, Nuhu, and of the PDP, and then gave it to Leila Buhari. You see some of these things as part of the problems created by Ayu?
This is exactly the problems created by Ayu, because I was the person who presided over the election that produced some of the leaders that we had within the party in Kano. Leila Buhari had her election. The delegates of the party went to a particular location, and INEC was there, representation from Abuja was there, but Ayu directed the people that came from Abuja, the chairman of the electoral committee, to go and meet another faction who are not the leadership of the party, but to meet just a fragment faction of the party, and another primary election or a kangaroo election or whatever you call it happened in another place. INEC did not witness this. Nobody witnessed that election. That happened in all the primary elections that we had in Kano, from the state assemblies to the House of Representatives to the senatorial elections and the gubernatorial elections. All this were done on the instruction of Mr. Iyorchia Ayu.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Remember, you can follow the conversation on all our social platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and follow us live on YouTube. We have in the studio Isaac Balami, Deputy Campaign Manager, Labour Party, and then Musa Mamman Kontagora, his National Youth Mobilization and Support Group Coordination, APC Presidential Campaign Council. Welcome back. Yes, we've been having interactive session, very interesting. But the issue is, as I asked earlier, that Babachir, Dogara, they are all planning to go to Labour Party. But there is a problem, because while they accuse APC of having Muslim tickets, they are not happy. Even in Labour Party, Obi is also being accused, because just yesterday in Ogun State, they said he populated his campaign council with people from the South. So how do we reconcile this?
When you say people from the South, you see people just talk.
Okay.
You have, the list is there. Look at the list.
Okay.
Look at even the women representation, over 30%, about 35% plus women. Youth, look at no party has that level of youth representation. As I speak to you here now, among the 6 top management team, as a youth, I am one of the top management team. No any party has done that to any young person in this country, be it male or female. You see, as for list, people will always complain. But do you know that His Excellency Peter Obi did not even nominate one person to that list?
It was all nominated. Now, why is it that, look, you know, at a press conference in Abeokuta, the State Secretary, Mr. Faishola Michael, said there was what he termed southernization of the APC against the northern interest. This is somebody in Ogun State in the south trying to make case across the Niger. So is it really possible to dismiss his observation?
It's not about dismissing his observation. But if there are issues, I know that we've had issues.
Yeah.
Even
at
husband
the time,
and wife.
I think the campaign.
Even husband and wife. APC have issues now. PDP have issues. No party doesn't have issues.
Yeah.
And there's no any issue I'm aware of that has been brought
to the
management that has not been dealt with precisely. Our principal will always create time, set up a committee and look into it immediately.
Yes.
Call people to resolve it. I was in that same Ogun State last week.
Okay.
To support and to encourage the southwestern stakeholders before the Oyo rally in Ibadan. That issue was never raised. We had a family meeting, good meeting, no issue was raised. But you see, it's okay. Everybody reacts differently. You might have issues with somebody now, the person will wait for an opportunity to talk to you privately. Somebody will wait until when you are in the market square, he began to shout on you, it's fine.
But you will not be distracted.
We will deal with the issue. No. He is important. Everybody is important in Labour Party, in the campaign council. That is one thing that our principal, Peter Obi, and Dati has made us to understand. You don't just push people aside.
Okay. You
Except
listen
if
to
you talk to somebody, the
grievances.
person is not listening, then that one is the person's problem, right?
Okay.
Because this movement is bigger than any one of us.
Okay, Kontagora, we're talking about youth inclusion. Now, it's not just about being part and parcel of the campaign, but being part and parcel of government to make, something for the youths. Have you people defined some issues for your candidates, not necessarily at the presidential level, even at the state level, because you want your party APC to win? Yes. Do you have charter of demands of such?
Yes. When I saw my name on the list as a member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, many were thinking it is an opportunity for me to make money. But to me, it is not an opportunity to make money. It is an opportunity to work for my party.
Okay.
As the chairman of the North Central Youth Stakeholders Forum, I sat down with so many youths. Any support group that I met with, what I usually tell them is, any of them that is not a card-carrying member of APC that does not have his voter's card is wasting his time. He should go back and get
because
those
it's
things.
really an issue.
Yes, he should go back and get those things in order to support APC. When you are having that, what next to do is go back to the grassroots. All politics is local. Go back to the grassroots. Make sure that each and every person is able to converge support, is able to convince 10 people. If we are 100 in a place, and then each person is able to convince 10 people to come and give APC vote, tell me, we're having a large
But do you
number.
have charter of demand? Now, do you ask the youths what you should tell the candidates?
Yes. When every youth you met,
if they want to get your support,
Yes. Most especially, we have a plan. Our plan is we are going to have a different kind of political campaign. This time, we are going to go into skills acquisition.
Okay.
We are going to go
So you
into,
need support towards that?
Yes, we are going to go into free medical outreach in order. There are so many people at the
do your
grassroots.
campaign.
Yes, to do the campaign. Because the politicians have been saying one thing all the time. We are going to have another narration. What we are to say, we are not only promising you health or social amenity or education. Let us start it now. We go to the locality, we get youth, engage them into training, we give them all that is needed. Let us start practicalizing it now, not only promising. It is only God.
This appears to be stomach infrastructure or transactional politics. What is your take? I want you to add this vis-a-vis your trip to Oyo. I think I heard of that trip, the presidential, aircraft of your candidate was grounded. Do you make any sense out of what happened? And also you are an aviation expert, yes.
It's the issue about grounding of an aircraft. There can be so many reasons why aircraft will be grounded.
Okay.
It could be technical issues, it could be operational issues, it could be regulatory issues.
Okay.
It could be safety issues. I don't have.
And it could be political.
Of course, it could be political. I don't have the full gist, but the information going around and phone calls from 1 or 2 persons, prove that there was an error that our pilot made, not a safety error.
Okay.
Yes, but I think we were in Edo State, and I think, of course, the airport has a sunset restriction, but the airport has an airfield lightning.
Okay.
The captain might have requested for extension, and maybe it was delayed or it wasn't granted, and then he violated. It happens. Are you with me? Okay. Sometimes you can be fined, you can be suspended. It depends, but not the aircraft. It has nothing to do with the aircraft.
Okay.
Another issue also is one of the person that the aircraft, because an aircraft can't just come and operate in a vacuum. The aircraft must operate under a license.
Yes.
So that there can be somebody somebody can be held responsible by the government should anything go wrong. So the person who brought the aircraft through him or her, the person is a bit scared because now the aircraft is branded obedient.
Okay.
So the person doesn't want the aircraft to operate, and the person is scared of maybe the government in power, or I don't know.
Okay.
But so it's just to move the aircraft from this license to a different license. There are more than 100 licenses available to be used.
So the allegation that there was hand of government to actually restrict your candidate, you didn't buy it.
You see, I don't even think the DG of the Civil Aviation is a very, very fine gentleman, Captain Musa Nuhu. I had the privilege to work with him when he was a captain in Aero Contractors. I worked with him. I was the pilot president then. And he's somebody who I respect so much. You see what even happened to Dana, what happened to Azman. He's somebody who is very, very open-minded. If there are issues with documentation, it will be resolved. And I believe that Captain Musa Nuhu, Engineer Ajiboye, the Director of Airworthiness Standards and the Chairman of the FSG, that is the Flight Standard Group, it will be resolved hopefully. So I don't have any issue, and if there's any issue, of course, we will talk. But for now, I don't think there's any issue at all. The issues will be resolved. It's just an issue of documentation and paperwork.
So what are you doing about your campaign? Do you also have a charter? Because I'm sure you lead, multitude of people to do the campaign. What is their, demand? And do you think your candidate will actually deliver?
So you see, our candidate is very, very clear about what he has to do. You hear him talking about moving the country from consumption to production. He's talking about agriculture. He said he's going to turn the entire 19 northern states into a gold mine. It's obvious. He's talked about it not once, not twice. But what is more important is that there's this thing that is on now, the Obidati campaign website. Very soon it's been on, but we are going to launch it officially. It's called Talk to Obi and Dati. It's a platform where any Nigerian from any village, whether it's through message or through internet, you can talk to the president, to the incoming president on your needs, your demands, your locality, because you see, our challenges are actually peculiar to, our environment. Somebody who is from Borno South like myself, I have a different challenge from somebody who is from Port Harcourt.
Yeah.
Somebody from South is suffering from pollution, contamination
of
the water.
It's like user-specific.
Yes, for me,
the engagement.
So that platform has been created, and very soon Nigerians will know more about it. He wants to engage with people, he wants to talk to them. So in every local government, in fact, in a local government, sometimes different wards have their own challenges.
Yes.
So this application has the ability to give you access to localize your challenge, and then he will see it clearly. So when he's coming to your state or coming to your local government, himself and the vice president can engage, and that is what we're doing. We are trying to actually deploy technology to talk to people.